Well, isolation does not necessarily mean disconnection, right? Because we do still have access to other ways of communicating. A text, to chatting, to act face-to-face, like this, interacting online. So it's not the concept of isolation, like you really have no contact with people. It's not necessarily true. We have some way of connecting with others. So in fact, there is that advantage of present technology. So on one hand, if for those youth who are seeking professional help, many psychologists and psychiatrists are back, although it is online. So there are already, at least parang the services are out there. We have some guidelines for them as well. Of course, I'm talking about the clients we work with who do not feel comfortable or happy within their environment. One is to somehow connect with people they do feel safe with, people they feel will be empathic to them and listen to them and validate their thoughts and their feelings. That's a big deal. That's a big part of being able to cope with what is happening. Second, is there a way that they can find a physical space that is their own? And yes, this might be challenging for some more than others, to the point that some, when they talk to us in therapy, they're in the bathroom because that's the only private space they have. Or can it happen that they find their own psychological space? So meaning that they're able to talk to someone, their friends, maybe in the middle of the night when everybody else is asleep. That's the time they can go to the dining room and talk to someone, through the internet. So these are some ways that they can cope. We're actually finding that some people, especially those with anxiety issues, are actually galvanized, meaning they're actually, and they've shared this, feeling stronger and better now because there's somewhere where they can put all this, the anxious energy. You know what I mean? So for example, in doing things like keeping the house clean or becoming creative with what food to cook given the kinds of ingredients you have, that sort of zones in, their anxious energy. It creates for them these opportunities. So in a way, for some, there is some actual growth happening because of all of this, because of the new context, the new normal that they are in. So we'll get the range. So we do not make that automatic assumption that people with mental health issues will get worse. We're seeing a variety. Well, several things. I think like any activity, whether it's being in front of a computer or even exercising, you have to sense when you are reaching your limit. Part of the stress that some people are feeling is because of the content that they're exposing themselves to. So we're also making this plea to people when looking at the news or information that they are exposed to. One, decide where they're going to get their information from. Okay? So maybe make a decision. I'm only going to get it from this local news channel or from this cable news channel. Second, when you're going to get it. I'm only going to get it in the 6 p.m. news or the 7:30 a.m. news, something like that. So where, when. Another tip we give because of all this exposure is maybe you actually need, especially for people who are more easily triggered, is to have a human filter. Meaning, don't get your news anywhere. Have somebody tell you the news. And you give that person, okay, I just want to know the numbers, for example. What are the statistics today? And that's it. So our battle cry now is respond on things that you can control. Right? So what can we control? We can control our personal safety, my physical health. For example, things like, as I said, eating healthy. I can control that. have a routine. Wake up at a certain time, eat lunch at a certain time, exercise at a certain time. We have what we also call the triangle of meaning by Viktor Frankl. So in the triangle of meaning, there are three corners. The first one is experiencing. What are the things that are bringing me joy? You know, whether it's cooking, baking, music, right? So experiencing things that you receive. Then creating. What am I doing? What productive thing can I be doing? Actually, the baking can also be here, no? Because you're creating something, right? So how am I helping others? You know, and it might be, we're not talking big here. You might simply be helping your mother wash the dishes, right? So you have the experiencing, creating, and then your attitude. What attitude can I take to help me from the day to day? Is it having a sense of humor? Is it having an optimistic attitude, or at least trying my best to see the good in every day? Things like that. We need time to take care of ourselves. We need time to recharge. We cannot always be there for others because, as the saying goes, we cannot give what we cannot have. Another way that we can be kind to ourselves, I think I'll go back to doing things that bring you joy, because that also enhances our energy level. And I think to look for activities where maybe it's not even the goal but the process. Maybe if we listen to ourselves, you know what I mean? It's going to say, can you get out of the computer area and bake? You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't tell you this, you did this before, which means really that listening to the self and what it needs at that time can really be valuable and really help that sensitivity to the self. If we can treat mental health the way we treat physical health, I think we've come a long way.